Before you go another day chasing success, I want to ask you one question. When was the last time you gave everything you had to one goal? No distractions, no excuses, no checking your phone every 5 minutes, no worrying about what everyone else was doing. Just complete focus. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people don't fail because they're untalented. They fail because their attention is constantly under attack. Every notification steals a piece of their future. Every excuse delays another opportunity. Every hour spent watching someone else's life is an hour stolen from building their own. And then they wonder why nothing changes. The world has convinced you that being busy means you're making progress. But being busy isn't the same as being focused. You can spend an entire day moving and still go nowhere. The people who change their lives understand something different. They know there comes a season when you must disappear from distractions so you can reappear with results. That season has a name. It's called locking in. Locking in isn't about working harder than everyone else. It's about becoming impossible to distract. It's about protecting your mind like it's your greatest investment. It's about saying no to temporary pleasure so you can say yes to a lifetime of fulfillment. The life you've been dreaming about, the respect you want, the confidence you admire in others, they're all waiting on one decision. The decision to stop dividing your attention and start mastering your focus. Because the moment you truly learn the art of locking in, you don't just change your schedule, you change the direction of your entire life. You change the direction of your entire life. But here's what most people never realize. Your future isn't determined by how talented you are. It isn't determined by how intelligent you are. And it certainly isn't determined by how many opportunities come your way. Your future is determined by one thing. What has your attention? Because whatever owns your attention eventually owns your life. Think about it. The average person wakes up, and before their feet even touch the floor, they reach for their phone. Within minutes, their mind is filled with other people's opinions, other people's success, other people's vacations, other people's lifestyles. Before they've even thought about their own goals, their focus has already been stolen. And they repeat this pattern every single day. Weeks become months, months become years. Then one day they wake up wondering why they never became the person they once dreamed of becoming. It wasn't because they lacked potential. It was because they gave their greatest asset away, their attention. Jim Rohn often reminded people that success is built through daily disciplines. But discipline is impossible without focus. And focus is impossible in a world that constantly rewards distraction. We live in a generation where attention has become one of the most valuable currencies on earth. Every company wants it. Every application fights for it. Every notification competes for it. Every advertisement is designed to steal it. Because they understand something many people don't. Whoever controls your attention controls your decisions. And your decisions create your destiny. This is why so many people stay busy but never become productive. They're constantly doing something. Answering messages, watching videos, scrolling endlessly, checking emails, starting new projects, quitting halfway through, beginning something else. At the end of the day, they're exhausted. But they haven't moved any closer to the life they actually want. Activity should never be confused with progress. A rocking chair moves all day, but it never goes anywhere. Many people are living exactly like that, always moving, never advancing. The art of locking in begins when you finally understand one simple truth. Not everything deserves your attention. In fact, most things don't. Every yes you give to a distraction is often a no to your future. Every hour spent escaping reality is an hour stolen from creating a better one. The difficult part is that distractions rarely look dangerous. They look harmless. Just 5 minutes. I'll start after this. I deserve a break. Tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next month. And before you realize it, years have quietly disappeared. That is how dreams die. Not through one catastrophic failure, but through thousands of tiny distractions that slowly replace meaningful work. Successful people understand something different. They don't protect their time. They protect their attention. Because time without focus has very little value. You can spend 10 hours pretending to work, or one focused hour creating something extraordinary. The difference isn't the clock. The difference is your concentration. Have you ever noticed how your greatest ideas appear when you're completely focused? When there is no noise, no interruptions, no pressure to impress anyone. Just you and the work. That state is rare today, but it is exactly where extraordinary lives are built. The greatest books, the greatest businesses, the greatest inventions, the greatest transformations. None of them were created by distracted minds. They were created by people who became obsessed with one mission. They locked in. People often think success requires doing more. Sometimes success requires doing less. Less complaining, less comparison, less scrolling, less seeking validation, less worrying about people who have no influence over your future. Every unnecessary distraction you remove creates space for something meaningful. Space to think, space to learn, space to grow, space to become. The person you admire didn't magically become disciplined. They learned to eliminate everything that constantly pulled them away from what mattered. That's what locking in really means. It means choosing purpose over pleasure, long-term rewards over short-term comfort, growth over entertainment. Most people chase comfort because it feels good today. But comfort has a hidden cost. It quietly steals tomorrow. Every comfortable excuse delays your potential. Every comfortable habit strengthens an average life. Meanwhile, the uncomfortable choices are building extraordinary people. Reading when others are scrolling. Practicing when others are complaining. Learning while others are sleeping. Working while others are waiting for motivation. These choices don't feel exciting in the moment, but they become powerful over time, because success is never built in dramatic moments. It is built in ordinary moments repeated consistently. Another mistake people make is believing they need motivation every day. They say, "I just don't feel motivated." But motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like the weather. If your future depends on how you feel, your future will always remain uncertain. Locking in means you stop negotiating with your emotions. You stop asking, "Do I feel like doing this?" Instead, you ask, "Does this move me closer to the person I want to become?" That single question changes everything. Because now your decisions are no longer controlled by feelings. They're controlled by purpose. Purpose creates discipline. Discipline creates consistency. Consistency creates results, and results build confidence. That is the cycle successful people protect. But there is another challenge you must overcome. Comparison. Comparison destroys focus faster than almost anything else. The moment you begin measuring your progress against someone else's journey, you lose sight of your own. Remember this. Someone will always be ahead of you. Someone will always have more money, more followers, more experience, more recognition. If you spend your life watching them, you'll never build yourself. Your only responsibility is to become better than you were yesterday. Nothing more. Nothing less. Locking in means becoming so committed to your own growth that other people's opinions lose their power. Their success becomes inspiration, not intimidation. Their criticism becomes background noise, not your identity. Because the truth is, the world rewards people who can stay focused long after everyone else becomes distracted. There will always be another trend, another notification, another excuse, another reason to delay your dream. The question is, will you keep giving your attention away? Or will you finally take control of the one resource that can completely transform your life? Because once you master your attention, you begin mastering yourself. And the person who masters themselves has already won the hardest battle. But mastering your attention is only the first step. The next challenge is far more difficult. Because once you've removed the distractions, you must develop the discipline to stay locked in when nobody is watching. Ipai Party 250 words. Tichi Ardof Lo Kianjian Jim Rohn inspired motivation. But here's where most people lose the battle. Removing distractions is easy. Staying focused when life gets hard is the real test. Anyone can be disciplined when they're excited. Anyone can work hard when they're motivated. Anyone can chase a goal when they're seeing results. But what happens when nobody notices your effort? When the results don't come as quickly as you expected? When you wake up tired, unmotivated, questioning whether all this work is even worth it? That is the moment that separates ordinary people from extraordinary ones. Because the people who eventually build remarkable lives understand one simple truth. They don't lock in because they feel like it. They lock in because they made a decision. A decision that their future is more important than their current mood. Most people spend their lives negotiating with their emotions. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll start next week. I'm just not feeling it today. But successful people stopped asking themselves how they felt. Instead, they asked one powerful question. Who do I need to become? Because the person you're trying to become already knows what to do. They don't wait for motivation. They create momentum through action. They don't seek comfort. They seek growth. They don't chase easy. They chase purpose. And the moment you stop letting your emotions control your actions, you unlock a version of yourself that most people will never meet. Because the true art of locking in isn't mastering your schedule. It's mastering yourself. It's mastering yourself. Because the hardest person you will ever lead is not your team, not your family, not your business. It is the person you see in the mirror every morning. That is the battle most people never talk about. The battle against comfort. The battle against procrastination. The battle against the voice that says, you can do it tomorrow. Every successful person hears that voice. The difference is, they don't obey it. Most people think discipline means forcing yourself to suffer. It doesn't. Discipline is simply remembering what you want most, instead of choosing what feels good now. Every morning, life gives you two choices. The first choice is easy. Stay comfortable. Sleep a little longer. Delay the work. Scroll a little more. Tell yourself you'll start tomorrow. The second choice is difficult. Wake up. Show up. Do the work. Stay focused. Keep the promise you made to yourself. At first, the easy choice feels rewarding. The difficult choice feels painful. But over time, those rewards switch places. Comfort gives you temporary happiness and long-term regret. Discipline gives you temporary discomfort and long-term freedom. That's why locking in is never about today. It's about protecting tomorrow. Imagine planting a seed. You don't dig it up every morning to see if it's growing. You water it. You protect it. You trust the process. Success works the same way. Every focused day is another drop of water. Every distraction you avoid strengthens your roots. Every disciplined decision brings you one step closer to becoming the person you were meant to be. But here's where many people fail. They expect immediate results. They work hard for 1 week, then wonder why their life hasn't changed. They stay disciplined for 1 month, then become discouraged because success hasn't arrived yet. What they don't understand is that transformation happens quietly. You won't notice it at first. Your friends may not notice it. Your family may not notice it. The world may not notice it. But every day you stay locked in, you're becoming someone different. The greatest changes are invisible before they become visible. Think about a sculptor. When they begin carving a block of marble, it looks like nothing is happening. One strike, then another. Then another. Hundreds of strikes later, a masterpiece appears. People admire the final result, but they forget that every strike mattered. Your life is no different. Every book you read, every workout you complete, every distraction you ignore, every difficult conversation you have, every promise you keep, you're carving your future, one decision at a time. Most people quit because they don't see immediate progress. They don't realize they're quitting one step before the breakthrough. The person who stays locked in understands something powerful. Results are delayed, but they are never denied to those who remain consistent. Another reason people struggle to stay focused is because they confuse movement with commitment. Starting is exciting. Buying new notebooks, creating plans, watching motivational videos, talking about goals. It all feels productive. But planning without execution becomes another form of procrastination. Locked-in people don't just prepare, they perform. They understand that the world doesn't reward intentions. It rewards action. Your dreams don't care how motivated you feel. They only respond to what you repeatedly do. There will be days when you feel unstoppable. Use those days wisely. There will also be days when you feel exhausted. Those are the days that matter most. Because anyone can work when they feel inspired. Very few people work when they don't. That's why discipline creates separation. It separates dreamers from builders. It separates talkers from achievers. It separates those who admire success from those who earn it. One habit successful people develop is protecting their environment. They know willpower is limited, so they remove temptation before temptation removes them from their purpose. If your phone constantly steals your attention, move it. If certain people distract your focus, limit your access. If your surroundings encourage laziness, change your surroundings. Winning isn't only about becoming stronger. Sometimes it's about becoming smarter. Make success easier. Make distraction harder. Your environment should push you toward your goals, not away from them. And don't underestimate the power of solitude. Many people fear being alone. They constantly seek noise, music, television, social media, conversations, anything to avoid silence. But silence is where clarity lies. Silence allows you to think, to reflect, to plan, to hear your own ideas instead of everyone else's opinions. Every remarkable leader has learned to spend time alone with their thoughts. Because if you cannot sit quietly with yourself, how will you ever lead yourself? Locking in often requires disappearing for a while. Not because you hate people, but because you love your future too much to let distractions steal it. There will be seasons when people don't understand you. They'll ask why you've become quieter, why you stopped attending every event, why you're suddenly saying no. Don't feel guilty. You're not abandoning people. You're building yourself. Remember, the caterpillar disappears before it becomes a butterfly. Growth often looks like isolation before it looks like success. Another lesson you must remember is this: never confuse loneliness with loneliness of purpose. You may walk alone for a season, but you're walking towards something. And that's different from wandering without direction. The strongest people are often misunderstood while they're building. Only later does everyone call them disciplined. Only later does everyone admire their success. What people celebrate publicly was built privately. That's the price of excellence. The world sees the reward. It rarely sees the sacrifice. And perhaps the greatest sacrifice is choosing your future over your immediate comfort. Every single day, again and again, until discipline becomes identity, until focus becomes natural, until excellence becomes your standard. Because eventually, locking in stops feeling like something you do. It becomes who you are. People begin asking, how are you so consistent? How do you stay so focused? The answer is simple. You stopped making decisions based on feelings and started making decisions based on purpose. But there is one final lesson, one lesson that turns focus into transformation. Because locking in isn't only about achieving success. It's about becoming someone so mentally strong that no opinion, no distraction, and no obstacle can pull you away from the life you're determined to create. But let me warn you about something. The moment you decide to lock in, your life will become uncomfortable. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because you're finally doing something that matters. The world will keep moving exactly as it always has. People will continue chasing distractions. They'll keep wasting hours on things that won't matter a year from now. Some will laugh at your discipline. Others will question why you've become so quiet. They'll think you've changed, and they're right. Because the version of you that needed constant entertainment, constant validation, constant approval, is slowly disappearing. In its place, someone stronger is being built. Someone who no longer needs motivation to move. Someone who understands that greatness is not created in moments of excitement. It's created in moments of sacrifice. Here's the truth most people learn too late. Every extraordinary life demands an extraordinary season of focus. A season where you say no to almost everything. So one day you can say yes to the life you've always imagined. Because one day, people won't remember how many parties you attended. They won't remember how many hours you spent scrolling through your phone. They won't remember the excuses you made. They'll remember your results. But more importantly, you'll remember the day you stopped living like everyone else and started building the life that everyone else wishes they had. Because in the end, the art of locking in isn't about sacrificing your life. It's about sacrificing who you are today to become who you're capable of being tomorrow. It's about sacrificing who you are today to become who you're capable of being tomorrow. Because every transformation begins with a goodbye. You must say goodbye to the habits that have kept you average. Goodbye to the excuses that made you feel comfortable. Goodbye to the distractions that quietly stole years from your life. And perhaps the hardest goodbye of all, goodbye to the version of yourself that constantly waited for the perfect moment. Because the perfect moment never arrives. The perfect moment is created by the person who decides that today is enough. There is a story that perfectly captures what it means to lock in. A young man once dreamed of building a life that made his family proud. He wasn't the smartest. He wasn't the richest. He didn't have powerful connections. What he did have was a dream that refused to leave him. Every January, he would write down his goals. Every January, he promised himself, "This will be my year." For a few weeks, he worked harder. He watched motivational videos. He bought new books. He created schedules. He imagined a better future. But then life happened. Friends invited him out. Social media consumed his evenings. Small distractions became daily habits. His goals slowly disappeared beneath comfort. When December arrived, nothing had changed. The next year, the same cycle repeated. Another year passed. Another notebook was filled with plans that never became reality. One evening, while cleaning his room, he found notebooks from 5 years earlier. He opened the first page. The goals were almost identical to the ones he had written that year. The same dreams, the same promises, the same excuses. In that moment, he didn't feel angry. He felt something worse. He realized he wasn't losing because he lacked ability. He was losing because he lacked commitment. That realization changed everything. He stopped searching for new strategies. He stopped asking for motivation. He stopped looking for shortcuts. Instead, he made one simple decision. For the next 12 months, I will become obsessed with my future. He deleted the distractions that constantly stole his attention. He created a morning routine and protected it like his life depended on it. He stopped explaining his goals to people who laughed at ambition. He spent less time proving himself and more time improving himself. The beginning wasn't glamorous. There were mornings he wanted to quit. There were weekends when everyone else was relaxing. There were nights when progress felt invisible. But every time he wanted to stop, he remembered something powerful. Temporary discomfort is far less painful than permanent regret, so he kept showing up one day, then another, then another. Weeks became months. Slowly, the person in the mirror began to change. Not just physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. His confidence wasn't louder, it was calmer. He no longer needed people to believe in him, because every disciplined day became evidence that he could trust himself. And something incredible happened. The opportunities he had spent years chasing started chasing him. Not because the world suddenly became fair, but because he had become prepared. People called him lucky. They admired his discipline. They celebrated his achievements. But nobody saw the mornings when he worked while everyone else slept. Nobody saw the evenings when he kept learning while others chose comfort. Nobody saw the hundreds of ordinary decisions that created an extraordinary life. That's the truth about success. The spotlight only appears after years spent in the shadows. People admire the harvest. They rarely appreciate the seasons of planting. Remember this: the life you want isn't built in one dramatic moment. It's built in thousands of moments where you choose your future over your feelings. Every time you say no to distraction, you're saying yes to your purpose. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you're becoming someone stronger. Every time you stay focused while everyone else loses direction, you're separating yourself from the ordinary. 1 year from now, the difference between you and the person who stayed distracted won't be talent. It won't be intelligence. It won't even be opportunity. It will be the decisions you made when nobody was watching. Because your habits are writing your future every single day, whether you realize it or not. Every morning you cast a vote, not with your words, with your actions. You're voting for the person you'll become. If you choose discipline, you're voting for strength. If you choose focus, you're voting for success. If you choose excuses, you're voting for regret. Life is always listening. It gives you exactly what your actions repeatedly ask for. Never underestimate the power of one focused year. 1 year of protecting your attention. 1 year of saying no to distractions. 1 year of reading instead of scrolling. 1 year of working while others are wasting time. 1 year of keeping promises to yourself. That single year can completely change the next 10. Imagine where you could be if you truly locked in. Imagine the confidence you would build, the skills you would master, the opportunities you would create, the respect you would earn. Most importantly, imagine becoming someone who no longer recognizes the person you used to be. That future isn't reserved for extraordinary people. It's reserved for ordinary people who make extraordinary decisions consistently. So stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for the perfect conditions. Stop waiting for someone to rescue you. Your future has been waiting long enough. This is your moment, not because everything is perfect, but because you've finally realized that perfection was never required, only commitment. Years from now, you won't remember every sacrifice. You won't remember every early morning. You won't remember every distraction you ignored. But you will remember the life those decisions created. You'll remember the peace that came from knowing you gave everything you had. You'll remember becoming the person you once dreamed of becoming. And one day, someone will look at your life and ask, "How did you do it?" They'll expect you to reveal a secret, a shortcut, a hidden formula. But you'll smile, because you'll know the answer was never complicated. You simply made one decision, a decision that most people never have the courage to make. You decided to lock in, to protect your attention, to master yourself, to stay disciplined when nobody was watching, to keep going when nobody was clapping, to believe in your future when your present gave you every reason to quit. Because in the end, success isn't owned by the most talented. It isn't reserved for the luckiest. It belongs to the people who remain focused long enough to become impossible to ignore. So from this moment forward, guard your attention, protect your time, honor your purpose, become obsessed with growth, and never allow temporary comfort to steal the extraordinary life you were created to live. If this message changed the way you think, don't let it become another video you forget tomorrow. Let it become the line that divides your old life from your new one. Write these 3 words in the comments. I am low CKDAM, not to impress anyone, but to make a commitment to yourself. A commitment that from this day forward, you will stop living by distractions and start living by purpose. If you're ready to build the mindset, discipline, and focus that create extraordinary lives, subscribe to the channel and join a community that refuses to settle for average. Remember, the world doesn't reward the people who are interested. It rewards the people who are committed. So disappear for a while. Work in silence. Master your craft. Protect your focus. And when you return, let your results make all the noise.